Good to have you back on the show, Todd. Why is this different with Micah Parsons than maybe other holdouts, contract situations?
In the time I've been covering this team, I don't remember a player ever making a trade request in. And I asked people who've been around longer than me if they remember one, even early in Jerry's time or even going back to Landry, and no one could really think of one. So that's what makes this different. Not in Jerry's mind, obviously, because he says to the Cowboys fans, don't lose any sleep over it. And is this just all part of the negotiation? I don't know if Mike is losing any sleep over it, but you could see on his face as he was watching practice, really not engaged at all for the first time, that he's pretty frustrated and discouraged by this thing.
But Jerry is going to sign him, right?
I mean, tell me the last time a Cowboy star player has not signed that Jerry has not kept. It took Emmett missing 2 games and the Cowboys going 0-2 in '93 for that deal to get done. We know the Dak deals have taken time here the last couple negotiations that Dak has had. We saw CeeDee Lamb's negotiation take through almost the end of August last year. But again, none of those guys said, I don't want to be here anymore. None of those guys talked about the repeated shots that they feel the organization has taken against him. That's what makes this different. And that's what makes it different in my mind from even Myles Garrett's trade request from Cleveland back in February. It never said anything about the organization itself other than I want to win a Super Bowl. 30-something days later, he re-signed with the Browns.
But I'm just trying to understand the logic of this, the business side of this. And I'm sure you guys have had the opportunity to ask Jerry, tell us how it makes sense waiting longer than signing. He could have signed Micah Parsons up in February when Myles Garrett signed his deal. Or prior to TJ, I mean, he could have saved a lot of money here. He could have done that with Dak. Maybe CD as well. But, here we are again with Micah. But I just don't understand the business philosophy with that.
So there's a couple of elements to that one. And I think one that we often forget in the media is that the player waits too. Dak knew by waiting on both of his recent contract negotiations that he would make more. He didn't, you go back to the first contract that he signed, they offered him what Jared Goff and I forget the other quarterback in Philadelphia, that was Carson Wentz, and he passed on it, knowing that something better down the road was going to come, and it did, and he waited on this one. And CeeDee Lamb was not going to sign a contract until Justin Jefferson's deal got done. Now, did it take that the lag time to get that deal done with CD? No. And should it be this hard to get something done with Mike? And no. But Jerry does not view this as a way of, oh, I just took away $2 million in cap space on this year, so no, I can't get this player. He just doesn't. We can throw the numbers and the math at him, but he always believes that if I want to get a guy, however good he is, I can create the cap space on any of these deals and go get a guy. But again, the Cowboys don't view free agency the way some teams do, where they go sign big name guys. So he just does not think it's that big of a deal.
Talking to Todd Archer, ESPN NFL Nation reporter. He's been covering the Cowboys since 2003. The bigger picture question is, how good is this team in a division where you're the third best team right now in your own division?
I think they'll be better than people think. You have a rookie head coach, so there'll be some growing pains there with Brian Schottenheimer. But when Dak has been healthy and played a full season, the Cowboys have been a playoff team and or a playoff contender. Granted, they've not gone to an NFC title game, not gone to a Super Bowl, all that stuff. But when Dak has been healthy, they've played well. Now, Micah, if he misses games, all that stuff, everything changes a little bit. But there's also an element is Micah not going to play? Is he not going to earn $21 million this year? So eventually he will have to get on the field. And I would also point out that in the Cowboys' mind, they've gone through this. They had a franchise Dak Prescott. He played out his contract. They had a franchise DeMarcus Lawrence. He played out his contract. And that's what Jerry was essentially saying to us on Saturday was he has under contract. We've seen guys play their last years before, and he believes if they don't get a deal, that's what will happen again. And the Cowboys can use the franchise tag on Micah in 2026, 2027, and even 2028 if they don't get a deal, if they want to go that route.
Does
So
Jerry?
we can talk about this again, Dan. It'd be great.
How important is winning to Jerry?
That's a great question, and he'll always say it's at the top of the mind. This is the 30th year without a Super Bowl. We'll see what happens this year. But I think there are people that will say the Cowboys enjoy the limelight, enjoy the cash, enjoy being the most notorious team in the league, maybe more than winning, and that plays into Jerry's mindset sometimes. I think he wants to win. I don't think there's a question of that. I think he wants to win his way.
They should do a 30 for 30 this year as the 30th anniversary of the Cowboys and look back on these 30 years or the previous 29 years of what went right, what went wrong, all the different movements and coaches. And I don't even know if Brian Schottenheimer can be a head coach. I mean, you're also putting a rookie coach in this situation. And there's a lot of things that it just feels like we're not even looking at the bigger picture of the Cowboys when they get on the football field. It's all this ancillary stuff.
Right, and that's the issue, right? That the focus is away from the field, away from football, that football isn't always the most important thing when it should be. I asked Brian Schottenheimer if he ever feels caught in the middle during these situations, and he said, no, I'm a guy who can see both sides, see all the angles, and I'll communicate to Jerry and Steven, and I'll communicate to Micah and the players. And so far, he's handled it well. He's obviously the son of a longtime head coach, has seen a lot of things in his time as an assistant coach, seen a lot of things when he was growing up. There's nothing like the Cowboys, though.